Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's class session. In last week, we discussed about the basic enterprise structure setups till primary ledger. So we covered discussing an overview on chart of accounts, accounting calendar, and we configured these setups as well as we configured primary ledger and specify ledger options setups, and we discussed about those things. Then, what is the next level of enterprise structure? What is the next level of enterprise structure?
Legal entity.
Legal entity. So next level of enterprise structure is legal entity. Legal entity is nothing but where we are going to maintain complete legal information related to the company. My small request for everyone: whenever you are not speaking, please go on mute, guys. Okay. So a legal entity, nothing but where we are going to maintain complete legal information about that organization. So you want to do business in India. So what you have to do? Just tell me. So for example, you want to start your business operations in India. Then what you have to do? So we need to register with government, correct?
Yes.
Either private limited or LLP or individual sole proprietorship or whatever, how you want to register. First, you need to register as a company with government. Again, if you want to register, you need a address. Address is mandatory in India, and you need two directors. For directors, they need digital signatures. Then, so for the address, you need to show some lease agreements or a sales deed or whatever. So there's some prerequisite set of documents is there which you need to submit to the government. So upon that one, so government is going to provide the company details, like, so the government is going to register with the name whatever you have given. So if that is available, they will register with that name, and they will give you registration number, first thing, and second thing, GST number. So another thing, so now we are saying GST. Earlier, what we used to pronounce? TIN number. So same TIN number also you can mention. So tax identification number, as well as so legal reporting unit details. All these things will be provided by government. Based on those things, you are going to perform. You are going to do your business operations in India, and whatever sales and purchases. So you are going to pay tax to the government as well as at the end of the financial year also, after taking financial year closing statement. But end of the day, if you want to do business in India, what you have to do? You need to register with government. So once you register with government, so you will become a legal entity. You will become a legal entity. That entity is going to become a legal entity, legal authorized entity. So in real time, already the company is going to register with some organization. So it's some in that country, and they is going to have already those details. Same details we need to configure in the application. Same details you need to configure in the application. There is a three purposes it is going to serve. The first purpose is a legal company information. So first start creating the yes, Rupiah, okay.
Yeah, I'm here, Sarath. Sorry, I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, okay, no problem. No problem. I mean, any doubts? I just ask. It's fine. Okay. Okay. So first thing, the main purpose of legal entity is whatever legal registration details is there, all those details we are going to configure in the system as a legal entity. So first thing we'll stick for that point. So if you want to register your organization, first you need a address, any country. So not only in India, you want to start your business in US, UK, or any country, you need to show an address proof to the government that where you are going to start. It may be your home address, maybe a rented address, or it may be another land or anything. So you need to show certain proofs. You need to show certain proofs. Again, as that, you need to register with government. You need to register with government. So now let's log into the application with our username, SEP_user1. Log into the application with, okay. So this is our implementation user. Select sign in. So as we decided initially, till configuring the inventory, we decided to go with setup and maintenance from procurement offering. So navigate to procurement offering. Navigate to procurement offering. So navigate to earlier, so basic ledger related setups we configured from financial reporting structures functional area. Now navigate to legal structures functional area to configure basic legal entity setups. Okay, so first go to manage legal address. First we need to create a legal address. So in which country you are registering, you are performing our business? So far in which country we are performing our business? All the setups in INR, correct? In India. So far whatever setups we defined in India address, India currency only, right? Functional
Yes,
currency.
Sarath.
But
Yes, India.
only legal entity setups I'm going to configure in US address. Ideally, this is not the scenario, but the reason is, so we don't have legislations, default legislations. I will show you. One second. So navigate to workforce development. So manage legislations, select search. So legislative data groups. So workforce structures, financials, manage legislations, no task. Okay. So let's see from procurement. So one is legislative data group. So let's go to global search. Seller search. Okay, navigations may change. So from global search, manage legislations, seller search task. Manage legislative data groups. Okay, same thing came here also. So for, let me show you for United States, select, okay, just tab out, select search, United States, select okay, select search. So for United States, actually what happened is a default cost allocation structure will come into the picture. A default cost allocation structure will come into the picture when you choose US legislative data groups. But for India, we need to configure from beginning. This is the human capital management setup, which we need to configure from the beginning. So if you create legal entity in India, so far the setups will be fine. But in future, when you create employee user, that employee user requires a cost allocation structure setups. And India legislations, you won't see cost allocation structures. So that is the only reason I'm configuring. So legal entity in US address. That is the only reason I'm configuring. So legal entity in US address, because for US country, United States country, the cost allocation structure, so which is one of the human capital management setup. So the seeded cost allocation structure will be available for US company law, US government laws. For India law, we need to configure those setups manually in the demo environments. In real environment, so either US or India, for both you need to configure manually. So, but in demo environments, we have vision data for US. So that is the reason, rather than discussing with human capital management setups. So as we said, so till legal entity, we are going to discuss basic setups. From business unit onwards, we are going to discuss each and everything, our own detailed setups. That is the reason. So only legal address I'm configuring in. So US address. So click on manage legal address. So here, so far if you created the address, then we can search from the search criteria. But so far I didn't created any address. So let's click on create button, plus icon for create across application, and pencil icon for delete. So United States address line. So SCP underscore legal address. So then postal code. So go to postal code, select search. So you also in demo environments legal entity please configure in US address only, or else you will face the problem whenever you create a employee user. So why you are going to face the problem, I'm going to show you in next setups. So we created one legal address, select save and close. So we created the address, then so we already registered with the government. Whatever we registered, I'm going to configure as a legal entity in my application. Then go to manage legal entity, task name manage legal entity. So legal entity, so click on select and add nothing, but if you already created and if you want to modify anything, then you have to click on select and add in the scope. But I'm going to create a new legal entity. Then click on create new, click on apply and go to task button, apply and go to task. So these are the Oracle seeded legal entities as well as created by some others. So we are going to create our own legal entity. So click on plus icon, create. So country, so initially as I said, I am going to define in United States because for US jurisdiction all these seeded setups will be available in demo environment, but in real environment you need to configure. So name, so SCP underscore legal address. So legal entity identifier, so legal entity identifier, TIN number, legal reporting unit registration number. Who is going to provide all these details? Government will provide to your company or your organization, your client organization. Your client is going to provide to you to enter these details. So here I'm going to choose some dummy values. So SCP, some dummy values I'm going to choose. So when you started your organization, when you registered, you can choose as a start date, but it's not mandatory. Let's take an example. I registered on January 1st. So, and if you stop performing your operations in this particular legal entity, then you need to give the end date. So identifying jurisdiction. So as we are configuring legal entity in US, the jurisdiction will come as a US income tax law. Legal address, in which address you configured this. Select search. So address line 1, SCP percentile, select search. SCP legal address, select OK. Then EIN number or tax identification number. So in real time, as I said, we are going to get the from real values. Here I am choosing dummy values for legal reporting unit registration number also. Then first save it. So first thing, we created a legal entity for entire legal information, tax identification number and legal entity identifier, all those details. This is fine. Then this is one purpose why legal entity is going to serve. Then what is the other purposes this legal entity is going to serve? What is the other purposes?
Posting general, posting transactions into
no, that's all comes under legal entity.
Okay.
So here I have written. So clearly written. What are the other purposes? One is legal information,
payroll,
legal employer and payroll. For example, you want to do business in India. So let's take an example. You have only one legal entity. So you have only one legal entity. In that scenario, do you need to recruit employees in that legal entity or not? If you want to start business, you need some employees, correct? Do you need employees or not? Without employees, can we start business? Even one person also, the same owner is working, that owner should be an employee, right? We need to show to government.
yes.
So that means, so we need to create employees in legal entity. So in that scenario, this legal entity should act as a legal employer. Then only we can create legal. So legal employees in our entity. Second, so if you create employees, do you need to pay salary or not? Even CEOs also, they will take salary like $1 also. At least they will show to government, right? That means this is the salary they took. Cut me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
So then if you want to pay the salary to those employees, then this legal entity should act as a payroll statutory unit. So for example, you have two legal entities in your same country. In US, you have two legal entities. So you are doing operations in both legal entities. You are recruiting employees in both legal entities. But you want to pay salaries from one legal entity for both employees. So then is that a common scenario or not? So in US only, so I have US LE1 and US LE2. So I have two legal entities in US one only. So both will act as a legal employers. Both will act as a legal employers. So but both will act as a legal employers. But I want to pay salaries for both LE employees from legal entity 2. Is that possible or not? Is that a common scenario or not? Sometimes it is common scenario, right? So for both employees, legal entity 2 only going to pay the salary. But we are going to recruit in LE1 as well as LE2, but salaries will come from LE2 only, even for LE1 also, legal entity 1 employees also. In that scenario, so payroll statute unit for September underscore legal entity, what is the payroll statutory unit? You need to choose which legal entity will act as a payroll statutory unit. So legal entity naming convention. Okay, then we need to choose the payroll statute. But I have only one legal entity where I am going to recruit employees, and for those employees I am going to pay from same legal entity. In that scenario, for the same legal entity, enable payroll statutory unit. Select save. Yes, yes, Lakshmi. Okay. So any questions so far on the way of creating legal entity? Any questions?
Hey Sharath, what is the purpose of radio button served there
Sorry?
before checkboxes? What is the purpose for the radio buttons over there? Payroll, statutory unit, and legal entity. There is the radio buttons, right?
So just it will give you a note what it is. See, legal entity registered to report payroll tax and social insurance numbers, social security numbers. That's it. Just a legal entity that employs people.
It's
will
not
be the message.
a radio button. It's like an info button, like this question mark.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just FUI, right? FYI.
Yeah, for your
information.
Just a note directly without searching the application. Directly it is just giving a note. Okay, what it is for. Question mark. Just in the question mark itself, you can see the answer why, what the reason it is. So if you enable legal employee, that means we can employ people. If you enable payroll statute, that means we can maintain the payrolls. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Select save and close. Then we said that we are going to pay the salary, so we are going to recruit the employees. If you want to recruit the employees, will cost allocation structure will come into the picture or not? A human capital management setup. Yes, a cost allocation structure will come into the picture, which is a HRMS concept. So the cost allocation structure and everything will comes from legislative data group task. So the next task you need to configure is manage legislative data group. So I'm going to make a note of all these setups and I will going to ping you guys. Okay. So click on select and add. For which legal entity you are creating this legislative data group. Click on apply and go to task. So for which legal entity here, expand search button. Search your legal entity, SEP percentage, select search, select your legal entity, click on save and close, click on save and close. So here you have to configure legislative data group for your legal entity. Click on create, click on create. So select name, SEP underscore legislative data group. So in which country you are going to define? Our legal entity belongs to United States. I'm going to configure this in US currency US dollar. So if you don't choose cost allocation structure, also for US there is a seeded cost allocation structure is there, which is going to populate. or else you can create your own cost allocation structure. So that means it's a key flexible. Then so you can choose here. I'm not going to define, the seeded setup will come into the picture. So because our training is not human capital management training, click on submit, select yes. HRC request will submit in backend, select okay, select done. Then we create a legislative data group. We need to update human capital management information for the legal entity. The
Sure.
next task is yes.
What is the use of this legal data group?
So with the help of legal data group only, so when you pay the salaries to your employees, the cost allocation structure, how the cost you are going to divide and everything will come into the picture.
Okay, thanks, sir.
So then go to legal entity human capital management information setup. So click on edit, select update, select OK, select OK. See, earlier we discussed about maintaining employees at 2 levels. What are those 2 levels you can maintain employee information?
At enterprise level and business
At enterprise level and
legal entity level.
legal and development. But in e-business suite, at what level you can maintain?
At business group.
At business group level only you can maintain, where you need to add HR organization and you need to configure that. But in cloud application, we can maintain enterprise level or legal entity level. The highest precedence will be legal entity only. So whatever the legal entity setups will be final for that legal entity. If you don't configure here, already seeded legal entity setups is there, seeded employee related setups is there at enterprise level. Those things will come into the picture. First thing, legal employee details. What is the default work start time in your organization? Let's take an example. Default work start time is 8 a.m. And what is the work end time in your legal entity? Let's say default one is 06 p.m. What is the standard working hours? 40. Some 1 hour I am going to take for break. So what is the standard working hours frequency? You say 40. Is this weekly or monthly? It's for weekly. So salary level. So how you are going to pay the salary assignment? Based on the assignments are term, based on the assignments. So worker number generation. How you are going to generate? So manually are you going to generate worker number or automatically generate using global sequence. So there is a human capital management global sequence is there. Based on that one, employee ID will generate, or each and every legal entity we can generate separate employee ID. So few companies across legal entities, they will maintain one global sequence. So anyone observed in that business? For example, the company which you are working, let's take an example, if they have different legal entities, your company may maintain single employee ID sequence, so unique employee ID number across legal entities. Some business will maintain for each and every legal entity, they will maintain separate sequence. Anyone observed that? Okay, I mean it's not mandatory for us because we are supply chain management people. So it's a mandatory for a human capital management people. So I mean, how you want to generate worker number? So if you don't choose here, then what will happen? From where the worker number will populate whenever I create the employee user?
From enterprise setup.
From enterprise level. Let's take, I'm going to use global sequence. Then allow employment terms override at assignment. So can we set on employment terms? Can we override those terms or not? Yes, we can override. So people group flexi field structure. So in e-business suite, when you configure business group, what are the key flexi fields mandatory? I told you on the day one itself. So the format is not required AM or PM. It should be so 8 and some 18. Okay. Okay. What are the key flexibles required to configure business group in EBS? 6 key flexibles. Remember, job flexi field, position flexi field, people group flexi field, grade flexi field, cost allocation flexi field, and cost, I mean, what is another one? Competence flexi field. So in out of these flexi fields, based on the job flexi field, we will maintain how we are going to create a job. So structure. So based on position flexi field, you will create a structure for position. Based on people group flexi field, you are going to group people into specific groups. You are going to So group people. So that is the people group flexible structure. So here, so you can define a people group flexible structure RS. So standard use people group flexible structure will pop up because of enterprise structure setups, as well as what is the minimum working age, what is the minimum retirement age. So how early they can retire. Let's take minimum working age is 16 years and minimum retirement. So from 50 years onwards they can retire maximum. So before, so 62 years is the maximum. After 62 they have to retire. Maximum age of a minor. So minimum working age you say 16, but if the minor, so usually from 16 onwards they will become a full-time employees. Let's take an example in US. Let's take an example in US. So in US, what is the standard labor rate per hour? Forget about IT people. Standard labor rate defined by government. Some $9 per hour, right? 9.2 something is there. So as well as UK, what is the standard labor rate per hour? Some 6.83 pounds per hour. Now it is revised as a 7.2 something. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just you can, whenever we ask something, just you can simply Google it like US standard labor rate per hour. In US, what will happen is again it will change from location to location. So the direct labor hourly cost is $9 per hour. See, the minimum should be $9 per hour. So, but when it comes to the minors, the hourly rate will be changed. Again, same in UK also. Hourly rate will change. And what is the minimum years a minors can work? So let's take an example in UK and US. Minimum 14 years person can work as a employee. From 14 years onwards, people can work even in US also, but their hourly rate will change as well as number of hours will change. They cannot work 40 hours a day in US. Same in UK. Sorry, cannot work 40 hours a week. So likewise, for minors also it will change. So work start time and is not in the required format of hour plus minutes. So this is in hours only. First thing, 8 is not required in the format show all. Okay, so this is the correct sequence only. Let's take dot. So okay, so then, so likewise, what is the maximum age of a minor? That means what is the maximum age? So a minor can start work. So from 14 years onwards, so he can start work, and until 16 years, so he will become minor only. So if you want to maintain an employment model also, you can maintain. So and all these things configured by whom in real time? Who will configure all these setups?
HCMT.
HCM people. In the task name itself, legal entity, human capital management information. So manage legal entity, HCM information. So here we are going to choose legal information and a payroll statutory unit. So how we are going to, so what is the format? So we choose correct only. Let's say take 8 is not in the required format. 8 a.m. to
There is a dot at the end, sir. Of the dot. There is a
sorry.
dot at the- There is a, okay. Now it will.
Sorry, Shipya, can you please speak louder? Okay, select submit. Okay, so okay guys, so what I will do is I will check in the enterprise level. Anyhow, it's not mandatory. So what is the format we'll check in the enterprise level. So select submit. So can we submit directly? No, the main purpose why we came for this setup to assign legislative data group. So based on the legislative data group only, basic for which country, which cost allocation structure, which currency we are going to pay salaries to the employees, all those things will come into the picture. So for our legal entity, we need to associate legislative data group. So let's go to search. So search our legislative data group, SCP percentile, select search, select. We need to associate legislative data group. What is the fiscal year start date? If you want, you can give that fiscal year start date, or else it's not required. Select submit. Select submit. The request will be submitted. Do you want to continue? Yes. So we created basic legal entity, very basic legal entity setups. The only purpose of creating our own setups is to create a legal employee with our own setups. Then once we configure legal entity, so are we going to assign that legal entity to ledger or not? Do we need to associate legal entity to ledger?
Yes.
Okay, can I assign one legal entity to two ledgers? Can I assign one legal entity to two ledgers?
Yes.
Yes, I think
Okay.
because we have two ledgers, right? Primary ledger and
We have two.
Leg- Two ledgers have been defined.
we can define
So
two ledgers, right?
we
Primary ledger.
cannot assign to two primary ledgers. We can assign to secondary ledger if you want. Okay.
Yes, that's what.
So when so I mean the question I missed the primary. So can we assign one legal entity to two primary ledgers? I
First,
revised the question.
can we define two primary ledgers?
Sorry.
Can we define two primary ledgers? I think we cannot, right?
Yes, we
One
can define,
primary
right?
ledger
For
and one.
India, I will define one primary ledger. For US, I will define another primary ledger. I will define. It's a common scenario. That's why we discussed the COA structure instance concept also. By using same chart of accounts, we'll maintain different ledgers, different segments, different value sets. Remember, yesterday, last session, we discussed that is the scenario. So that is in Notepad, I think. So we can maintain, right? So for each and every country, I can maintain a different. I have to maintain different ledgers because of functional currencies. If you don't want to maintain different ledgers, then you need to go with multi-currency conversions and all other stuff. So my question is, can I? Okay, we can maintain. First thing, we can maintain in one application. We can have 20 ledgers also. That's no issue. We created one primary ledger for India address. So my question is, can I assign, in case I have two ledgers, US ledger and India ledger, can I assign one legal entity to two primary ledgers? You should be no, right? We cannot assign. We cannot assign one legal entity to two primary ledgers. That is one scenario. Second one, can I assign two legal entities to one primary ledger? Can I assign two legal entities to one primary ledger? Yes, we can assign. So first thing, so we cannot assign one legal entity to, so we cannot, I won't say we cannot, we are not supposed to, we are not supposed to assign one legal entity to two primary ledgers, but we can assign multiple legal entities to one primary ledger. Clear? Clear for everyone? Who is speaking? Okay, so far it's okay, guys, but from tomorrow onwards, any questions you need to ask me and you need to respond back, because from tomorrow onwards, so we are going to start with creation of business unit. That means from that point, our supply chain management training will start. Okay, from tomorrow onwards, you have to respond, and if you don't understand, you need to keep on asking me again. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then let's so we have to assign legal entity to ledger. So how we have to do? Go to financial reporting structures, select show all task. So ensure the scope is in correct scope. Let's take an example here. Rather than September _ IN primary ledger, so let's take an example. Some A ledger is there. Okay, so some A ledger something. Okay, select save and close. So select is okay, select save and close, that's fine. So when I log into the application, when you come to procurement offering, so go to financial reporting structures, you come to know that assign legal entity task. So for which scope it is assigned? AA primary ledger. If you open also, if you open assign legal entities, it will go to AA primary ledger, and if you assign your legal entity, it will associate with this ledger. So is this our ledger? No, right?
No.
Then in that scenario, what you need to do, rather than place cursor on task area, so click at scope area. This is scope area, this is task area. So place cursor at scope area, automatically it will update scope for all. So click on scope area on ledger. So click on, so here as we just chosen earlier, we can say September underscore IN prime ledger, or else click on selecting that. As we just choose it, so here you can see in the top of the list, or else you won't see here. Then click on select and add, click on apply and go to task, search your ledger, SCP percentile, select your ledger, currently what is in progress. So click on save and close. Now assign legal entities to September underscore prime ledger. So again, if you click on save and close also, the scope is updated. Again, you can open if you want. So here for this ledger, we need to associate legal entity. So click on select and add, search your legal entity, select, apply, select done, select save. So I have created a legal entity and associated with a ledger. That's fine. So yesterday we discussed something about balancing segment value.
Sure.
What it means? What is balancing segment? What it will do?
Sarath,
Yes.
Sarath, this is Banu. Actually, what happened is I have assigned legal entity to different ledger, because the scope was updated by someone, and then without seeing that, I have updated.
Banu, don't you mind? Okay, I got your question. So what will happen is if you already associate, so legal entity, I will show you here only. I got your question. So for example, you need to remove, but before removing, you need to remove company value. Then you can remove legal entity.
No, but it was not allowing in the other instance. Delete was not there.
Okay, what you can do is just please send me the screenshot once.
Okay, sure.
WhatsApp.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And also, can you show me this notepad? Just wanted to.
Okay, so already I have written notepad and I already pasted here also. I will share this document by this Saturday for everyone.
Sure. Thank you.
Because once in 2 weeks only we are going to share, or else, so if you share every day, we can see only one line update slides. Okay, so we assigned a legal entity. Then we discuss something about balancing segment. What is the purpose we are going to maintain balancing segment for company segment in chart of accounts?
In
What
order
is the
to take
purpose?
in order to check our balance sheet at the
Credits
higher
and
level.
debits of the journal entries, correct?
Yes.
So whether credit and debit should be equal or not, we are going to verify by taking balance sheet. If we want to take the balance sheet, usually we are going to take it company level only. So that is the reason for company we are going to assign a balancing segment label, and there, so we created some values in the company value set. So again, what if that is a mismatch? That's a different concept. If that is mismatch, what will happen? It will go with a suspense account. Based on the suspense account, the default suspense account, or how you want to create lines, we are going to define these setups, and based on that one, the remaining unmatched debit or credit, anything, so system will create a suspense line. That is a different concept. But to verify the debits and credits, we are going to take a balance sheet. So balance sheet will give you whether both are equal or not. If not, then so this is the credit mismatch. Like that, system will show the report. Then how we will take the balance sheet? With the help of balancing segment value, which we associated at company segment level. That is fine. So that is fine. That's it. Then at what level you will take that balance sheet? At what level you will take the balance sheet?
At company level, we have registered.
Company level we will take that company, nothing but is it a legal entity or not? For each and every legal entity, we will take a balance sheet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because at legal entity level only, we will take the balance sheet and we will cross verify. At legal entity level only, we will take financial year closing statement and we will pay the tax. Correct? You have to pay tax for each and every legal entity or not?
Yes.
Then what will happen? Same value. For example, I defined a company value for you. I defined some 100 MFG company. I assigned that value to one legal entity. Then same value cannot assign to another legal entity. You have to define other, because so balance segment value, if I assign to one legal entity, we have to take balance sheet on that particular value from that legal entity only, So that is the reason go to assign balancing segment values to legal entities. Don't go to ledger. Ledger, assigning balancing segment values to the ledger is for reporting purposes. Okay, click on. So here, which value set is coming to the picture? SCP underscore company value set. Because for this SCP underscore company only. So I mean, guys, my sincere request for everyone, please go on mute whenever you are not speaking. Okay, so whenever you are creating a chart of account structure, so for company segment we associated primary balancing segment label. For company segment, which value set we associated? SCP underscore company value set. That is the reason this value set come into the picture. So then this is the legal entity where we are assigning balancing segment values. So here, assign balancing segment values optionally to legal entities within the accounting setup to identify and secure transactions by legal entity. So click on arrow, select company value, select save and close. Select save, select save and close. So we created a legal entity, we assigned balance segment values also. Then go to review and submit accounting configuration. So once you create a ledger setups and legal entity setups, perform this task. So review and submit accounting configuration to update the chart of account value related setups in the system, as well as to update this. So we just assign the balance segment. So these balances will update as the cubes in the backend in the system after you submit this configuration. So ensure that your ledger is in confirmed status. So company value is already associated. So select submit. Select submit. So the create accounting configuration process has been submitted. This is a scheduled process. Scheduled process, nothing but in e-business suite terminology, it is concurrent request. Select OK. So you can make a note of that scheduled process, or else go to navigator. Try bar icon is navigator. Under tools, click on scheduled process. Click on scheduled process. So here you can see complete accounting configuration. Currently it is passed and child process is submitted. So load chart of account values. It is going to load chart of account values. It is succeeded. And balance cubes. It is creating the balances, balance segment as a balance cubes, and it is running. So once it is completed, then we can see the ledger setups, basic ledger setups completed successfully. Select. Just refresh. This is the refresh icon. So you can create a new schedule process, or else, for example, you want to cancel, place cursor on the cancel process. We can do that one also. So anything is fine. So currently we submitted and we are going to refresh. Select refresh. So if you note down the process ID from the search, you can search the process ID with the name or with the status. Anyhow, you can search. Saved search is last 24 hours. That means by default last 24 hours you can see in the search results. By default, the scheduled process submitted in the last 24 hours you can see in this particular area. Select search. So that means after tomorrow 9 o'clock we cannot see these values by default. Then again you need to search manually. So it is succeeded. Balance cubes also succeeded, and create complete accounting configuration completed, then succeeded. Then navigate to setup and maintenance. Navigate to setup and maintenance. Navigate to setup and maintenance. Navigate to procurement offering. Navigate to financial reporting structures functional area. Select manage primary ledgers. Select manage primary ledgers. So just search your ledger and verify the status, SCP percentile. So what is your ledger status? Confirm. Again, we already verified at the time of review and submit accounting configuration. Or else from here also you can verify. It is confirmed. So if there is any issues with your ledger setup, here you can see error status. You can see cross mark button in a red, and you can see errored status. So here confirm, that means whatever the basic setups you configured is successful and correct. So till here our basic legal entity setups, still legal entity setups completed. So we'll start from tomorrow with which setup? Business unit. So tomorrow we'll discuss business unit and we'll start with IMO setups, and possibly by Wednesday we'll complete till sub inventory. Then with that basic enterprise structures will complete. Again we need to discuss inventory setup, sub inventory setups. Follows to, once we configure basic enterprise structure, we'll go with the product information management. Once PIM completes, we'll go with inventory, follows to manufacturing, follows to middleware tools, follows to procurement, follows to order management, and we'll close the batch. Okay. Anyhow, closing the batch not now, almost it will take 4 months. So, okay, this is the way we are going to provide this particular batch training. Any questions so far?
Hi, Sarath.
Yeah. Yes.
Whatever setups we are doing on this today, after 2 days, data is getting deleted. This is occurred twice for me. It is for me only. I'm facing this issue for everyone.
So not every thing. 1 second. That is a ADC3, right? 1 second. ADC3. So scm15.student password. 1 second. Select sign in. So let's go to setup and maintenance. So I just want to cross it whether the only CD data is there or any other data. Go to financial reporting structures. Go to manage primary ledgers. So some other setups is there. Seems like P underscore ledger. Some other setups is there. Underscore ledger. What is your setups? What it will start with?
September.
SCP.
Even the users also getting deleted.
No, users means okay. I got your point. So maybe after Saturday afternoon it got deleted. After Saturday evening, correct?
Yesterday also got deleted, and Tuesday whatever setups are created deleted on Thursday. Again I created on Saturday. When I checked it yesterday onwards, yesterday again the data was not there. Whatever setups I had done.
Okay. Then what I will do is 1 second. So let me create one user and I will take a screenshot of this one. Let me create a user because usually I won't use this instance. So for our classroom purpose, we are going to use this instance. And in my environment, even June batch, from long time, whatever the data is there. So almost I received this instance 1 month ago. From 1 month also, it won't delete any data. In my classroom environment. So what I will do is I will take a screenshot because if I want to discuss with our vendors, I need to send the screenshots and everything. So let me pause recording again. Okay. Yeah, please ask me now.
Actually, see in EBS and EBS we have as application developer. AOL is their application object library, and the system admin is also there.
Yes. First thing, system administrator. Here we have IT security manager. In system administrator, earlier we used to create users responsibilities. Here with the help of security console we will do. Earlier in EBS, in the system administrator, you are going to create this reports for programs and everything. Now we are going to do in middleware tool OTBI. So that is the reason system administrator replaced with IT security console. Sorry, security console. So that is one concept. Second one, you said that so business objects and everything. So that is treating as a now. First thing, system will allow you to customize your business objects for integration purpose and everything. So that one, first you need to activate the sandbox environment. Then go to here business objects. From here you are going to configure under configurations. So you can create your own business objects. You can customize it. And from application composer you are going to do those integration purposes with the help of web services. as well as we have a page integration concepts also. Those things is dealing separately under configuration. Okay.
Okay, so even the lookups and all we used to configure.
Yes, we have lookups concepts also, which we are going to deal as part of our training. Even you already, I mean, have the inventory videos, right? There we even discussed about inventory lookups also, and you used to customize lookups. If you follow our YouTube video also in pricing matrix classes, where we customize one lookup and we use that lookup in customizing the pricing matrix classes 1 year ago itself.
Okay, Sarath, I'll go through them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have lookups concepts and everything, and even we did all those concepts. So not only from now. So 1 year ago, whenever the feature available, so if you go to YouTube with our MRU Technologies, select search. So go to our MRU Technologies, some videos. So cloud approval management, manufacturing setups. So this is the pricing matrix which we discussed some 1 year ago, last year, somewhere in October. So in this video itself, we discussed about customizing the lookups as well as customizing the pricing matrix classes. That scenario is available at that moment only, and we discussed that one. So lookups customization and creating our own lookups, as well as discussing about seeded lookups. All these things we are dealing in each and every batch.
Sure, Sarath.
Okay.
Fine, Sarath. So this user creation, this is been there for all the offerings, Sarath.
Wherever the task initial use, wherever the task create implementation user, so you can click on this task, it will navigate to security console only. Security console is a application. So, but it will navigate to directly users. And if you don't want to navigate from here, then go to navigator. Under tools, you can see security console. Click on security console. If you click on security console, directly it will go to roles tab. That's it. Just click on users. From here also you can create. But whatever users you are creating, this user is going to be implementation user. Employee user we are going to create from different tasks. That is
Sarath, my question is actually this security console because we have given the role we are getting the
IT security manager.
So it is across all the offerings.
Is across application, right?
Yeah, across application. Yeah, across application.
See, across application, IT, as I given IT security manager, I have complete privileges.
No, because whenever we are creating a user, we go to procurement offering and then we are creating the user.
Just a task is available in across offerings, that's all.
Okay.
Just task name, setup is available. For example, in EBS, so key flexible task is available in inventory module, financial module, in seeded responsibilities, remember?
Correct.
So like this, here the setup is available across offerings, that's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
But end of the day, application security console only.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And we get to setup and maintenance. So business objects and everything is available. But on the demo session, on the second session, I told you one thing about SAS database. What it is, guys? So what are the types of databases we have? Forget about Oracle database. Usually nowadays in cloud, what are the databases we have?
One on premises, one is cloud.
What are the cloud databases we have?
Platform as a
yes. First thing, SaaS, software as a service. Second one is platform as a service. And third one, infrastructure as a service. IaaS, correct?
Yes, sure.
Who is the market leader in IaaS? Amazon Web Services, follows to Azure Cloud, follows to Google Cloud Platform. So likewise, so currently Oracle is in 7th place. Earlier they used to be in 17th place. So then last year they came to some 11th place, and now they are in 7th place in infrastructure as a service database providers. So and software as a service, nothing but, so any company, they are going to create an application in cloud database, and they will give that application for our purpose, but they won't give database access. That application will be available in that specific database only. So that application database, we will say software as a service. That means the company is going to provide software as a service, and they will charge for the data consumption and processing and everything. And a PaaS, platform as a service. So they are giving a standard application as a software as a service in the SaaS database. And if you want to go with any third-party tools, you need to integrate. So what are the tools we're going to use to integrate? Just tell me one Oracle tool. So
Power BI.
correct? So is one middleware tool or not?
Yes.
So SOAP services we are going to use to integrate. Likewise, now in cloud we have a PaaS services. So cloud PaaS, Oracle Cloud PaaS nothing but it is a platform as a service. Default one is a REST services, REST APIs. REST API nothing but ICS, integrated cloud services, which is designed specifically for Oracle ERP cloud applications. That means not only this application, Oracle Retail Cloud will come into the picture, Oracle PBCS Cloud will come into the picture, PBCS is planning and budgeting. Likewise, most of the Oracle Cloud application purposes for easy integration, Oracle come up with a new solution, which is a REST services. So there is a platform as a service, and this is a SaaS database. So software as a service. In SaaS, again we have two types. What are they? Cloud environment and on-premise. And is at this moment Oracle is not selling any on-premise database. We already discussed all those things. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, sir.
So then now for the new clients, Oracle is selling only cloud environment. In the cloud environment, again we have three types of cloud databases. What are they? The Oracle SaaS cloud, we have three types of cloud databases. What are they? Public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Did we discuss or not? Just my single point. Did we discuss or not?
Have we discussed?
We discussed this. Please make a note and please review those notes again and again. Then only you will remember, guys. Okay. So first time no one will remember. I agree. But please practice and please try to go through it on the regular basis. Then only you will remember. Okay, because these are new terminologies. So then in the SaaS database, if you want to customize anything, the customization has some limitations. Then what is the purpose of all these business objects and custom objects? Let's take an example. Application composer. You open this application composer. So ideally this should be discussed at real time. Again, we are going to discuss at real time. See, all these custom objects, standard objects, nothing but for integration purposes through using web services. We are going to use these custom objects and we are going to integrate with third-party tools or anything. But in the standard application also customizations available in order orchestration process and some other areas, but there are some limited purpose, so till limited only. So some limitations is there. With the help of seeded conditions only we can customize those things. And if you want to go beyond that one, in the standard database it won't allow. You have to go with other party tools, or else you need to purchase IaaS license. In the IaaS you can develop anything, and you can whatever you develop. For example, you can develop your own POC, your own screens, and for that screen you can customize to this application. So with the help of custom objects through web services. Again, if you want to find these things, first thing you need to activate sandbox environment. So to activate sandbox environment, you should have a application administrator role. I have application administrator role. So application implementation administrator. That's why I'm able to access, manage sandboxes also and manage customizations also. This is a complete out of concept from our syllabus. So which will give you overview on at the time of real-time sessions. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
So here in the configuration, you can see page integrations, so business objects, all these things you can find it. But anything you want to do, first you need to activate this sandbox environment, then only you can perform. Okay. So you must be in a active sandbox to make any changes. So data analysis is a procurement dashboard. If you want to customize dashboards or anything, so everything is, possible, but not with standard database. That's all. Okay, this is out of topic. So let's sign out. Log out. Okay. Any questions so far what we discussed legal entity, or else we can close this session. From tomorrow onwards, please make sure that you are going to practice in time and you are going to up to date, because from tomorrow only our training will start. So let me save in desktop. Instance access issue. So once it is refreshed again, then I can make a mail because the dates and everything saved. It's okay. So let's save. So don't save. That's fine. Already saved as image. Okay, here I have saved it. Okay, that's fine. Everything is captured. So if you are good, then we can close this session. Yes, it happens for all, I think. Okay. Okay, thanks for joining. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day for everyone, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks, Sarath. Bye.